Ain't no hashtag with Marcus J. I got this call and I appreciate it though. Ain't no hashtag with Marcus J. 804-402-2893 is the number to dial to be down with us tonight. At this time, we always do a missing and/or exploited child, and tonight's show is no different. Tonight's child is Tatiana Lindo. Tatiana Lindo, she is missing from Jamaica, Queens, New York. She's been missing since February 13, 2013. Her date of birth is March 25th, 1999. She's a 14-year-old black female with brown hair, brown eyes. She stands 5'7", 160 pounds. There's photos that we'll be putting in our social media. Both of them are of Tatiana. She may still be in the local area. She may travel across the boroughs, Brooklyn, Queens, or even in Manhattan. So if you have seen Tatiana Lindo, please contact the National Center for Missing and/or Exploited Children on their website, missingkids.com, or contact them by phone at 1-800-THE-LOST, 1-800-843-5678. Please bring Tatiana Lindo home. Ain't no hashtag with Marcus J. All right, the whole point of this segment, what the hell, is where we kind of go through stories that make us all say, what the hell? And, you know, when we kind of talk about things on a special night like King Night, you know, you want to try to be serious, and, you know, Carlton Banks is getting on me because my tone is a little bit down. It's not that it's down, but I'm trying to maintain a level of seriousness because of the stuff that we've been talking about. But he gonna see me perk up a little bit here now, because I want to talk to y'all tonight about Madonna. Why do I want to talk about Madonna? Because we know that Madonna is one of the many people who like to go to Africa and other places and adopt little children and stuff. When you go to Africa and you adopt a child, it's a pretty good bet you're going to get a chocolate baby, right? Well, Madonna adopted a child from Africa, and she loves the baby by most accounts. And she put up a picture of him on Instagram, and it was a picture of him boxing or doing whatever he was doing. But the quote said, "No one messes with dirty soap. Mama said knock you out. Hashtag dis Nword." Madonna called her own son the N-word in social media. So, Brandy, I want you on this one first because you have the most reaction on your face. We're going to go around the room on this one because I think there's a lot of room here. I don't know if we go through all of the room, but I think there's a lot that can be said about this one here.
Well, number one, I read it, but I know she has a biological son, and I thought that she was doing the, you know, what sometimes white people do, my nigga thing, and think it's okay. Whoa, I didn't know. Hey, I'm just saying.
You're going to get yourself banned in here, girl.
My bad. But what I was saying was I thought she was talking about her biological son. I was not thinking about the adopted son and dirty soap, though.
She may have been. And you know what? I may be standing. If I need to stand corrected, then I will. Let me look. As a matter of fact, you're right. She's talking about her son Rocco, which is her biological son. So, yes.
Yeah, it would be a lot worse.
It doesn't make it any better. It actually takes it in a completely different, because I thought it was one of her adopted kids. Yes. But no, it's not. It's her biological, and it really does kind of take me in a different direction.
Yeah,
but
you kind of call your biological what?
Yeah.
Finish
your point, Brandy?
You know, she hangs around with a lot of black people, dancers, and she used to, at least when she was on tours and whatnot, especially the ones with the broke wrists. So maybe she thinks it's okay.
the broke wrist. Call Banks. Grab a mic, please.
That's real messed up.
Was she married to Dennis?
Well, she hanging out with Dennis?
She was dealing with Dennis Rodman for a while, yeah. Who's home from Korea and promptly went to rehab, by the way. They tried to make him go before, but he said no.
Now he realized he did something stupid.
Couldn't help that one. Sorry, JR.
I'm just saying, maybe they had a little thing
I don't know about y'all. Is anybody else kind of tripping off of this one? Because, I mean, y'all giving me the face. It's like you could care less. And if you could care less, then we'll move on.
Well, I mean, I just think the fact that she even used it is kind of like, it's just not socially acceptable to use it, period, regardless of who you're speaking about. Now, with that being said, I'm going to throw out a life raft to Madonna and say she might have used it for if now she's talking about her biological, she might use it for what the word means. Now, with that being said, it is what it is. I think the fact is that we as black people have become so sensitive to that word, it doesn't really matter how it's used by a white person, whether it's she talking about black people or they talking about white people. It doesn't really matter. We become so oversensitive about it to the fact that every time you see it, it's all about us. And this is probably absolutely had nothing to do with that kid she bought. She'll just probably call her son ignorant. I'm not saying that's right. I'm just saying.
I so disagree with that. I really do, because I don't know any single person on the planet that uses that word to say ignorant. Like, we know it's in the dictionary, but just because it's in the dictionary,
but that doesn't mean people don't.
But bling is in the dictionary. I mean, you put anything you want in the dictionary.
But that doesn't mean people don't, man. And I think you're doing people a disservice.
Can we do the etymology of the word? Look, the etymology of the word ain't got nothing to do with the word ignorant. It came from the Spaniards who saw black people in Africa and said negro. That's where it came from, until the word evolved into what we know the word is. It ain't got nothing to do with the word
But
ignorant.
now, in this day and time,
that's what it means.
But you know what though? Look. Can we just all agree that behind the scenes, white folks got a bet going on, saying, "I'm gonna be the one to break through and make it okay." I'm gonna be the one. Like, when I say it, suddenly
nobody's gonna be mad at me.
Everybody gonna be able to say it, and Madonna tried it. Madonna was like, "Look, I'm gonna just throw hashtag."
And then when
nobody says PM anymore, but we know what that is.
Like, how many people actually look at every single hashtag? But see, she just threw it in there like that.
I look at it like this: if you're gonna say it, own it. Don't come out and say, "quote I am sorry if I offended anyone with my use of the N-word on Instagram. It was not meant as a racial slur. I am not a racist. There's no way to defend the use of the word. It was all about intention. It was used as a term of endearment towards my son who was white. I appreciate that it's a provocative word, and I apologize if it gave people the wrong impression. Forgive me."
Which means
you know better, and it does kind of speak to what you said, JR.
Yeah.
Dude from Seinfeld.
I mean,
he's a comedian. Nobody really gonna take him seriously. He's just gonna get up there and just blurt it out. What do you get? He got the Shaq face.
But
he got the Shaq face. And he got a lifetime ban.
But here is the curveball that I'm going to throw out. Black people.
Yep.
Why is it that we get mad when white folk do stuff that we do all the time? When we see in the hood all the killing and all of that stuff that's going on, when we be in the hood and we using this word all the time, but then soon somebody white do something to somebody black, or soon somebody white use that word, now all of a sudden that we want to be up in arms. What's that about? Because if it's bad for whoever's doing it.
I mean, I ain't tripping.
White folks had slaves.
I mean, I'm not the one tripping here.
If we really being honest, you're not. But we're not going to be disingenuous and assume that you're the majority here.
Because we know, I am by far the minority.
Right, exactly. So let's not act like we don't know that there's people tripping.
Real talk. Yeah,
everybody else tripping. You got something on the
I'm just going to break it down like this. I guess you could say they use the word because of 3 different levels. You look at somebody like Riley from the Eagles. He used it. Everybody jumped all on him. You look at somebody like Paula Deen. She thought she can get away. She used it. They jumped all over her. She lost sponsorship. Now you got Madonna taking that chance. She might be using it as a quote-unquote term of endearment. Well, let's face facts. It shouldn't have came out. Her mouth shouldn't have came on a hashtag. It shouldn't have happened. And as far as black folks go, we know better than that. We should know the history of the term before we actually start using the term.
I can dig it. I appreciate that. Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. Now, here's a story.
Shut you up.
I'll be honest with you. I debated for a while whether I was going to get into this story or not. And I had a discussion with my brother Ruben earlier today, and we decided that we would get into
Most
it.
Definitely, it's hot.
This is a story about Cordell and Caleb, the gay black fathers who are now responding to the outrage on Twitter over their Instagram photos. It's a photo of 2 gay fathers, and they are obviously proud dads, developed a substantial following in social media over the last few months. But their most recent photo is sparking a wave of homophobic backlash through Twitter users who seem to take issue with the idea of 2 gay black men raising children together. It's been reported that, well, I'm going to move on from that quote. I'm not going to get into that. But basically what they're saying is it's hitting on 2 key points. Quote, the fact that it's a gay black couple, and that it is also nice to see black men taking care of their children, which is a very interesting 2 things to connect to each other, in my personal opinion. The controversy surrounding the photo raises the larger cultural questions about expectations of masculinity and parenting as well as what types of bodies and experiences are considered normal when talking about the LGBT community. I'm getting that from the Huffington Post. Big Rube, you're up. What you got?
Please show them the pictures that we speak of.
I'm showing the photo to the crew as we speak. Everybody's looking, and you see two black men in what looks like a bathroom. One is actively doing hair. The other one is taking the selfie, but he looks like he's probably going to resume doing hair once he's done taking the selfie. If we continue to scroll further through in this article, there is another photo of the two guys with their children. What appears to be at minimum 2 girls and a boy, or possibly 3 girls. I can't tell what the one that's being held is, just because it's quite young in the photo. So Big Rube, I want you up first. What you got, man?
I would like to say that the people who are hating on that picture, they hating on that picture because of one reason.
Yeah, you're right.
Not because they're black, not because they're gay.
No, not really.
It's because they're doing girls' hair. Now, as much as y'all laugh at that, as Marcus said earlier, they've been on this Instagram thing for a couple months. All their pictures got likes, oh, so cute, whatever. However, they put the picture of them doing hair, and everybody's pissed off. It's all because they're doing hair. That is it. I guarantee it. Marcus is like, man, something wrong with you. I'm like, yo, how about all these other pictures? It's got them with their kids, the kids sitting on the couch. It's even got them two snuggled up by themselves. I mean, all these pictures about their kids and them, and you know that they're gay, and you know that they're black, and you know they got 3 black kids, at least 2 female. Don't know about the other one. But the thing about it is, people got up in arms about this because they were doing hair. Literally. They were doing hair. So I'm saying that the reason why, I don't even think it's a lot of people. I think it's women. I think women are upset. How do you have 2 girls? And blah, blah, blah. Maybe they thought they were all boys with long hair. I don't know. Maybe they're just stupid. But if you need to give me another reason why they would hate on that one picture but love everything else.
Let me ask you something. Are you Skip Bayless or something?
It doesn't matter who I am. I'm Ruben.
Well,
but you got to give me a better reason why I'm incorrect.
Well, I won't give you a better reason
All
why
right.
you're incorrect on that. You look at 2 fathers taking care of children. There are plenty of families out here, plenty of children that don't have fathers. Regardless if they're gay, straight,
Okay.
whatever, they have a home. They have somebody who's looking out for them. You have somebody putting a roof over their head.
Okay.
You have somebody just looking out for them. Because they're doing hair. You never did anybody's hair before? I've done my sister's hair before. I'm not afraid to admit that. Then why are you complaining about 2 gay guys doing hair?
Well, I'm not the one complaining. They're complaining. People are complaining. The only picture that got hate of all those pictures they've been putting up is the one with them doing hair.
Can I ask a question? Did the other pictures have them chest naked in the pictures?
Why does that matter?
That's the issue.
Are you kidding me?
I think them being chest naked with the 2 girls in the bathroom is the issue.
But that's their daughter.
You know what?
Hold on. There is a television show that I watched that comes on, and there was an episode for a couple of weeks where they had the kids living with a gay parent, with 2 gay men, as they were foster kids to them, but they were still living with them. You know, until somebody says something, you're gonna find something to hate on everybody for any reason. All right. If 2 men are taking the time to groom and raise kids who otherwise would not know any type of parent,
How do you hate on that?
Exactly. Why are you hating? Understandably, their lifestyle you may not agree upon, but hell, there are a lot of crackheads and drunks that beat their kids and treat them worse than that.
And I think they're mostly women hating.
Hey, look, I would have to agree with both of y'all, Brandy and Rube here. Like, if nobody else raised any other questions here or had anything negative to say until they're doing hair, then it has to be doing hair. And if they weren't shirtless in any of the other pictures, then it could also be that it could be a combination of the 2 because they are doing hair. Like, I would agree.
I don't think it's the hair.
So but what would it be then?
When I looked at the picture, the first thing I thought was, these are little girls. These are men, no matter what. Why are you partially dressed? These are little girls. That's the first thing.
But
that
they just got
I
their
thought.
shirts off. It don't look
It
like they
doesn't
run around in
matter.
their
It
But
drawers.
doesn't
see, here's the
Yeah.
thing. You got two ladies in the room that both touched on the exact same point. And I'll be honest with you, I had this feeling about this picture when I saw it, and I couldn't put my finger on it. I couldn't put my finger on what it was about it. It was just something about it that just wasn't right with me. And I totally disagree with Ruben's position about it being about, you know, women being mad because they're doing hair. I just, you know,
So are we?
I
So are we?
totally
So are we
disagree with it.
really saying that it's?
I don't. I see, and I'll
Put
be
on a
honest with you. I
t-shirt.
mean, because normally I'm someone that's pretty definitive in my position. What my position with? Well, first of all, let me just state it clear. I support any human being's right to be who they are, with who they want to be with. And I would 100% prefer to have those two gay men raise any child as opposed to someone said crackhead or abusive
Right,
parent
right. And I agree.
or anything like that. I would much rather that be. But when I saw that picture, I just couldn't put my finger on what about it was kind of rubbing me the wrong way. See, now like this one, I don't have any reaction to that. I don't even see that. I don't even see
No
that.
problem. They have on T-shirts.
Yeah, I don't
They're
even
out
I
in
don't even see
public.
that. I see two guys with 3 kids. I don't even see that. But this one, when you see two half-dressed dudes in a bathroom with 2 little girls,
That's an
I
issue.
couldn't put my finger on if that's what it was. And
And
once you said it, that's why. Once you said it, then I'm like, okay, that must be what it is. Brandy?
No, because I remember growing up. I mean, even if my mother was a single mother, when she had my stepfather or when my father was around, we could not walk around the house a certain type of
Yep.
way, and neither could they. So that's the issue to me, is that they're walking around shirtless in front of these little girls who are going to think that it's okay when they start to become older.
This is a lesson. When I look at this picture, I see 2 half-naked dudes, one taking pictures in the bathroom. So what am I teaching this little girl? Because who's to say she's not going to soon be in the bathroom
10 years.
taking pictures? This is what daddy's teaching me. Okay? This is me. No
So-
shirt, no nothing. This
so-
picture is wrong. I wouldn't like that picture either.
But so basically, are we suggesting then? Because I want to get at underneath what I'm sensing here. What I'm sensing here is because there's and let's be clear before I even say this. People know, I don't particularly care for, homosexual marriage. But having said that, like Marcus said, I still prefer those two, over some, crackheads or whatever. But are we suggesting then that because they don't have shirts on, and they're in the bathroom with 2 girls who are their children,
They are
are they
unfit.
pedophiles?
No,
Is that what we're saying?
That's
Is that the
not
feeling that
the
we're getting?
suggestion at
That's
all.
not
That's
what
not
we
the
said at
suggestion at
all.
all.
I don't
Because
even know how you got that.
and I'll speak to.
So what's the problem with the shirt off?
I'll speak to that because I'm a man in this room that has a daughter. Okay, and I don't walk around half dressed. My own house. When my daughter's around, I don't walk around half dressed at all. But when my daughter's around, I want to make sure that I'm properly clothed. If she sees me without a shirt on, it's briefly. It's not. I'm not helping her get dressed for school in the morning while I stand there without a shirt on. That's just not how I roll. And again, in the interest of full disclosure, I could not put my finger on what about that picture bugged me. I couldn't until they said it. Once they said it, I'm like, yeah, that must be it. So
Now my question,
and I've also done hair too.
my question to I guess all 3 of y'all then would be, what is the difference if they are in the bathroom with no shirts on and they're at the beach with no shirts on? Or if they're at the swimming pool. If they're at the swimming pool with no shirts on,
that's the question.
and they're in the baby pool or something, and they got their, they playing with their daughters in the baby pool, then what is the contract? I'm seeing because I'm sensing a
We're at the
contradiction
pool.
there.
We're at the pool.
That's
So you're
the
in the privacy of your own
question.
home.
Most
That's
men
the question in
You're no
most
longer in the
households.
privacy of your home when you take
he doesn't have
selfies.
he's not. I can't really see they're below their waist, but he doesn't look like he's walking around in any tighty whities. He just doesn't have a shirt on. Now, mind you, I don't walk around with no shirt on, but it's because I'm generally cold. But I'm just trying to keep it funky here. Like if you the type of dude you want to walk around with no shirt on, I just don't see how that influences a girl. Like
These
I'm
are
sure they would be
little
responsible enough to
children.
explain to the little girls, hey. You have breasts. You may not want to walk around with no shirt on. You may
Well,
want to.
you lead by
cover
example.
Those.
This
but
is not the example
those are
to
not
lead
young
by.
men, though. Those are little girls.
This is the question that you're asking is a valid question. It goes to families, period. Like I said, when I was coming up, it didn't matter if it was my father, my stepfather. It didn't matter. When I got up, I had to put clothes on. My brother got up around my mother. He had to put clothes on. When my mom came out of her room, she was dressed correctly, not with no booty shorts on, not. Okay, and
but then
different.
You got booty shorts on.
I'm not
That's
saying
not what we're getting. That's not what she's getting.
For different situations, different places, there are different things. It was okay for me to wear a bikini at the beach, but at home, no. It was okay for Dad to have his shirt off when he went to play basketball, and we're there. But it's not okay in the house. It's just different situations, or different things happen, and in the house that would not have happened.
Big Rube, JR, we're gonna come back to you in a minute. Big Rube, you brought this up, and you've been relatively quiet on it, which is fair because I'm glad to see that you allowed the discussion to kind of flesh itself out. Now that you've got the mic back in your hand. What's your thoughts, man? After having heard what you've been hearing,
it sounds. I understand what they're saying. However, I guess my thing. To be honest, I'm just not. I can't. I'm not agreeing. I mean, I just think that. I think that the kids in the picture look old enough to the point where it's like you. I mean, hey, maybe Daddy just got up. And he had, I'm running late. Got to fix your hair. I mean, yes, whether he's taking a selfie is whatever. However, same picture at the beach, there's nothing wrong with it. That doesn't, to me, that doesn't make sense. It is not like, I mean, honestly, I'm not judging people. It's not like the dudes are fat or anything like that. I mean, they're pretty decently built. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like that. I feel like that we're basically saying they're bad parents because they didn't wear a shirt in the bathroom, and I think that's disingenuous and disrespectful.
No one said that they were bad parents. It's just that it's inappropriate in certain situations.
But if it's inappropriate, then they're doing something incorrect.
What if they just had a whole lot of hair grease and they didn't want to get no grease on their shirt? Like,
I'm
just saying, like in a bathroom.
I just don't think. I don't think that's to me. I don't think them not having a shirt on is a solid reason to hate the picture.
I don't think that assuming that women are hating the picture because men are doing hair is solid. I think that's less solid. I think that's less solid, and so that speaks to how it's
gender roles.
That's
gender roles.
Well, gender roles are different in every house, and I can tell you that because I know that.
Well, I know, but I'm just.
Mics, please. Mics.
I can walk around without a shirt. I mean, that's the difference for me. I mean, because I have a son.
Okay, well, you have a son, but what's your opinion on this situation?
No.
Say what?
Yeah, you have a son. We know it's different for you, but what's your opinion on this situation?
My opinion is this: they're in the bathroom. I mean, men can go outside without a shirt on. So why is it such a big deal that they're in a picture with the girl without a shirt on? If they went at the beach without a shirt on, boom. If they're playing basketball, shirts and skins. Boom. I mean, what's the difference? It's not like you see anything below the belt, and there should not be any problems with the picture. I mean, I understand what Ruben is saying because, all right, they're upset because they're doing hair. I really can't follow that completely, but I can understand it. But where is the outrage? Tell me something that someone has said about the picture that created the outrage, then I can speak upon it better. But until such time, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of us can take our shirts off. The other two can join. However, it may not be publicly acceptable in this country. We can go to England.
Well, I'm looking at some of the comments, and I won't read them just because we didn't solicit them, so I won't read them. But they're overwhelmingly positive for the guys here. So it appears that the people who are at least commenting here on the Huffington Post don't see the big deal. And personally, I don't really see the big deal, but I can tell you that I did have a reaction to seeing the guys. I couldn't put my finger on what it was. I couldn't put my finger on what it was. But then when y'all said it's the shirt off thing, I'm thinking maybe that's what it is. I don't know. I know that I don't navigate my house without a shirt on. That's just me. You know, if I do, it's briefly coming out of the bathtub, and then I lube up what I'm going to do and move on by putting the shirt on. That's just me. You know, and so when I saw them without one on, then, you know, I had a reaction, but I couldn't figure out what it was until SY mentioned it. Big Rube, you got a comment?
Yeah, one of my boys hit me up. My boy Nat, what's up? He did say, like JR said, well, if they were at the pool, he says, I'm sorry. And he does have a daughter and a son. He says, I'm sorry, but fathers walk around the house without shirts on.
No, okay. I mean, I will acknowledge that it happens, and I will also acknowledge that people like me who generally put one on, I just don't like to be unclothed around, you know, Mrs. J and Mama J, you know, unless it's an appropriate time, which when Mama J's around, it's not an appropriate time. That's just me. You know, that's just me. And I'm not saying that I'm the norm or I'm not the norm, you know, but I also will acknowledge, in agreement with the point that JR and your friend Nat and Big Rube is making, that, and Carlton made this point as well, that it is somewhat normal for dudes to be without a shirt. But then I got to also acknowledge that might have been the reason why I had that reaction. And maybe that is my subconscious having issues with their homosexuality, which I will also have, you know, clearly state, because I don't like to do punk and passive aggressive. That's my new phrase. And so if I if I exhibit, you know, a contradiction in my own speech, then I like that someone will point it out to me, or I point it out to myself. We'll move on from this. Ain't no ass Steppin Marcus yet. Last thing I want to get into on this, in this what the hell segment is, Carlton, I want you on this one first. You got a kindergarten teacher in Phoenix, Arizona, who is under house arrest in Arizona now, after he allegedly took off a 6-year-old girl's shirt as punishment for crying in class. Thomas Washburn is a 54-year-old, and once I finish reading this article off of the Huffington Post, I will go ahead and let you guys see this guy's picture. But he allegedly left the student topless for 10 minutes on Wednesday before permitting her to put her clothing back on. That's what the local news station is saying. The girl teared up in large part because he had been yelling at the 24 pupils in the Adams Elementary School classroom in Mesa, which we know is right outside of Phoenix. Police charged him with 1 count of child abuse, 25 counts of indecent exposure, 1 count for each student and the teacher's aide, who were all in the room. The judge placed him on house arrest and ordered him to wear electronic monitor device on his ankle pending the outcome of the case.
Tell him how he got caught.
Okay, I'll keep going. Washburn again. I was going to stop, but okay. He's also forbidden from being around children without adult supervision. Authorities learned about the incident because after the class was dismissed, Washburn told the girl's mother what he had done. She immediately spoke to the principal, who called the police. So Carlton, I want you on this one first, my brother. What you got, man?
I'm running out of state after something mess like that. What the heck? First of all, he's stupid for doing it. Second of all, he's stupid for telling the mama. Third of all, he's stupid. He ain't go ahead and, like Ruben says, what's the natural selection? I mean, really, he man. What the hell?
What the hell, JR? What you got, man? Your face is priceless, man.
But I mean, so you taking clothes off a little girl stuff?
6.
And we got a problem with the 2 dudes doing in the bathroom with no shirt on, but in this dude, I mean, he need a beat down.
What you doing, son?
Like he need a beat that. He looked like he'll do some shit like that. Oh, excuse me. I apologize to listeners. He looked like he'll do something like that.
Don't say it a lot. Shit is okay. I don't know. Let's get one of the ladies in on this one. Brandy, come on now. What you got, girl? Come on now, because we know you know nonsense. So I'm gonna need you to bring some levity to the discussion here. And how come everybody, before they say anything, pause? I had this long pause on this story.
Because you really want to say something that we really can't say. You know, like we don't have enough beeps in here, and you can't control the volume enough to do this.
But this one got Brandy scratching her brow right now. She's scratching her brow.
I mean, I just don't understand where these teachers are coming from. I don't understand what kind of background checks they went through. What makes you punish a child this way? I mean, I'd never heard of stuff like this.
Phoenix. I mean, the heat might have got to
That's why. What you think on
in
this
Phoenix, where prostitution is legal? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, JR, say that again one more time.
What happened to standing in the corner?
Yeah, I know. Like,
what don't work anymore.
Put a dunce cap on. I mean, but taking the shirt off.
She would have still been crying. That's the problem. So he wanted to embarrass her to shut her up.
I
believe he's a pedophile. And when they do his background,
that child is going to be scarred for life.
She's messed up.
Yeah, she's messed up. I don't know that I would go so far as to call him a pedophile, but you know, if that's what you think, that's fair. That's fair enough. I just think that he's incredibly stupid, and I don't think that. No, seriously, just think that he's a stupid person, and I don't think that he's a pedophile simply because the fact that in his mind he had done something that wasn't wrong. A pedophile's not going to call up mom and say, "Look here, I just touched your child." But a stupid person might say that I disciplined your child by making him take their shirt off in front of the class. He told the mother what he had done. Like, that to me doesn't sound like a pedophile. Like, if he's guilty of anything, he's guilty of being stupid.
He knew he was going to get in trouble. He knew something was about to happen. The daughter was going to go home and tell mom, and he went ahead and just shocked her so he wouldn't get punched in the, well, depending on what kind of mama it was.
Yeah, he would have got it anyway.
Yeah, that's what it is. Ain't no ass stab on Marcus J. All right, we're going to take another break, and when we come back, Big Rube is going to lead us in the round table. And we also will continue on in our breaks with playing Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King speeches, some of his most popular ones. This one that we're playing right now, you definitely heard at least once or twice before. It's the last speech he ever gave the day before his death on April 4th, 1968. I Steppin, Marcus J with the crew and you and social media. Stay with us. Be back in a few minutes.
This is Marcus J of Legacy Internet Radio, and this segment of our show is sponsored by the Doctor of Optometry, Dr. Euphemia Huggins Williams, ODPC. She's my eye doctor, y'all, and she makes sure that everything is great and copacetic with my eyes, making sure I don't have any glaucoma, any cataracts, stigmatisms, or anything like that. So call her up at 804-327-1640, 804-327-1640, or drop by at 7124 Forest Hill Avenue, Suite B in Richmond, Virginia, 23225. She's got a great selection of stylish eyewear, takes all kinds of insurances. So definitely make sure you check out the Doctor of Optometry, Dr. Euphemia Huggins Williams, ODPC, at 804-327-1640. That's 804-327-1640.
All we say to America is be true to what you said on paper. If I lived in China or even Russia or any totalitarian country, maybe I could understand some of these illegal injunctions. Maybe I could understand the denial of certain basic First Amendment privileges because they haven't committed themselves to that over there. But somewhere I read of the freedom of assembly. Somewhere I read of the freedom of speech. Somewhere I read of the freedom of press. Somewhere I read that the greatness of America is the right to protest far right. And so just as I say we aren't going to let any dogs or water hoses turn us around, we aren't going to let any injunction turn us around. Well, I don't know what will happen now. We've got some difficult days ahead. But it really doesn't matter with me now, because I've been to the mountaintop. I don't mind. Like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place. But I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. And He's allowed me to go up to the mountain. And I've looked over and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land. So I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the